Hello everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and welcome to card number 1 of my textured floral class. So for this card we are using the textured floral stamp set. We're not using the matching dies, but I am using the something fancy dies. So this is the card we're making, and we're doing a bit of a silhouette card using this die, and we're going to finish the card off with some iridescent rhinestones because they go with absolutely everything. So let's just pop a few things out of the way and get started. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you all 10 colours we are going to be using on our project today. Now, these 10 colours are mostly in colour pairs, so we'll be using them in pairs together, and that's why we have so many. So I am going to start with silly Siri. I am going to start with Melon Mambo. So let me just grab this here. Sorry, just move this out of the way. We are starting with we will start with our sentiment first. So we are using pretty peacock for that whilst I throw everything away here. Now we will be using a lot of blocks, so I will be kind of cleaning these stamps as we go, and I will just grab out here, just bear with me a second. I'm going to grab out a big block for us to pop all our stamps on, so then that way none of my clear stamps go missing, because if you have ever lost a clear stamp or tried to find a lost one, it's pretty devastating. So if you haven't tried this silhouette technique before, a lot of people do it using using letters and making a big word, but for today we're just using one shape, and I am going to be doing all my cleaning with our stamp chamois. So that will mean everything is nice and clean and ready to put away, and then we can just keep on moving through. So we have our sentiment here, and we're going to build everything around our sentiment. I will be using this ink pad later, so I'm going to keep it open and just pop it to the side and bring in our Melon Mambo next. So the card that I'm showing you here just above us, this is the second card I made, and the first card, everything was a little bit disconnected from the sentiment, but this second time I have connected everything. So when I stamp it, I'm having it overlapping the sentiment and just keeping that connection, so then it just all makes sense. I don't know how else to describe it, so I'm going to grab my Berry Burst next and just clean this stamp. So you'll be very used to me doing all this cleaning. I don't use the Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist with my photo polymer stamp sets, because I find even no matter how clean I keep my Stampin' Scrub, it really does super stain these stamps. And the fact is, these stamps don't actually need conditioning with the Stampin' Mist, where the red rubber of our cling stamps does need that. So coming in now with Berry Burst, just for this flower center, and it's just enough to give you a look. a look that it's there, but it's not overpowering the whole flower. So you can see all the beautiful stamen. Now next I am going to go in with this flower in the corner, and we're using Lemon Lolly. So once again, just doing our cleaning duties on the way. Now I do have a little bit of ink on this block, so I also just give the block a bit of a wipe as well. So we just need this flower here, and while I am in here, I will also grab out the little flower center, which is this circle of splodges, is the best way to describe it. So we are pairing together Lemon Lolly, and then we will pop on top of it crushed curry. So Lemon Lolly is one of our brand new ink colors. Now my particular ink pad did come quite juicy. Sorry, concentrating here. Oh, it had a little bit of blue in it. Ah, well, doesn't matter. Won't make a difference in the end. So it is it comes in the Subtles family, and it is a lovely, lovely yellow. So you can see the difference. It stamps on quite bright, but oh, I needed this to stay open. Hold on, I'll reopen it and pop it to the side, and we will grab our crushed curry. So it does dry back quite light and leaves a beautiful lemony zest. Okay, so crushed curry, and I'm going to pop that here. That makes the perfect flower center, and this one I wanted a little bit more contrast. I could have used Daffodil Delight, but I chose to use Lemon Lolly instead. So let's clean both of these. And next, while I've got the Lemon Lolly out, I'm going to do these flowers just in the corner. They do just add a little bit of interest away from the center here. So you can completely cover this piece in flowers if you'd like, but the main thing we're going to be concentrating on is the sentiment. So that's why I did everything around the sentiment. So I want this flower, and I want this flower center. So I'm just going to put my little trio of flowers with the Lemon Lolly first. I will just need a scrap piece because we're going off the edge here. So just doing a little connecting trio of 3. So that is that done, and the Lemon Lolly is finished with. So if your ink pads do come inky, I have recently just used them, but I did butter them down with a bone folder that I just have for ink, so you can see the difference between the central area and the edge, and that is just from buttering it down, and it pushes the ink further into the ink pad and just gives you less ink, which in the end does give you a better stamped image. Okay, so for this flower here, we are using Azure Afternoon, which is another one of our new colours, and a returning colour, Blueberry Bushel. So go in first, and I probably should have had this flower a little lower, but it actually doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things. So these will just be really nestled up close together. I've actually got them overlapping a bit, which works perfectly fine. So close this ink pad. There is a divot in the ink pad right there. I find it easier with my hands to use the scissors to push open that divot. Okay, blueberry bushel is open for, oh, did I clean that? I don't think I did. I'll pop that back down. Nope, I have blue on my hand. Okay, so this little flower center, which I did actually have up the right way, just goes in the center like that. Oh, damn. And I knew that would happen at some stage. I will show you how I endeavour to fix that. Part of it is going to be our splatter, but I am going to show you a way you can fix that. Just let me do this.
Didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri is always listening. Very rude today. Okay, so I do have somewhere in my little carousel here, I do have a little sand eraser. Here it is. So I just have a mono sand and rubber eraser. So this side is sand, this side is rubber. So what I do, and this will knock the colour back, is I literally just rub over that area, and this takes away layers of the paper. So you don't want to go too much and create a really rough paper. I think I'll give it one more go, and then I'm going a bit too far. Okay, I can see that getting a bit rough. If you want to just smooth out the roughness, I do just use the rubber side, and that smooths any edges. Just bear with me a second here. Right, all those little bits are gone, but as I said, I will be covering a bit of that using the dottage that is in this set. So, but you get how I'm doing it, and that's the point. So next I'm going to add in my greenery, and I actually use, this is where I use our pretty peacock again, but I use it stamped off. So just using our 3 leaves, there we go, and I will need one of those bigger blocks back. Pop these ones away. Staying very neat and tidy during this card. This is a little bit unlike me in a video sense. So I stamp off, and then I just stamp on, and I did use 2 down here, and I'm just going to go in again like that, so that gives a very nice plumage. And then I am going to do this again. Now I am going to be very aware that I do have ink there, and I do just have a baby wipe to the side, and I have just wiped that off. I think with the dottage I'm going to add, I'm not going to add any more greenery. So I can close this up and then bring in our Lost Lagoon, which is the perfect pair to the pretty peacock. Okay, just clean this one off, and then we're at our last stage of stamping. It is a lot of stamping, but I do think it creates a beautiful look. And if you just want to sit and stamp, this is a great kind of card that you can do it on, as well as a fantastic stamp set that you can do it with. Just the dottage stamp set, so you can see we're getting through a lot of the stamps in the set. We're not quite going to use them all, but we get there. Okay, so going to use this one. And we are going to be doing stamping off. So we're not going to be, like we did with the leaves, we are not going to be having this dottage at full strength. I am going to come right in here and go over this area. And then for my cover up, I am going to come in here and then just a little bit over here off to the side. So it doesn't perfectly cover it, but it does somewhat disguise it. And then here, remember to stamp off and just have one going down here. So some will be on that label and then some will be going off. And just dottage, you can never have enough, so don't feel like you're putting on too much, because you really can never have enough. So I'm just going to wipe that and try again, because I would prefer less lines on this. Now that did just double up and I did get some over here, but that is all okay in the end, because we will be adding a little bit of ink to the edges using the Lost Lagoon, and that is our next step. So I've got 3 areas of dottage and I'm quite happy for that. I've repeated the yellow because it's so nice and bright. How could I not? And I'm just up to my last lot of cleaning here. That is all done. Take that off. But and I'll show you what I have ended up with my big F block. So I've ended up with all the stamps here, clean, ready to put away or for me to grab off and use again, but I know they are super safe. So grabbing a blending brush just to finish off these edges, I do just add in a touch of ink, because then this will match what we do around our die cut. So just softens these edges, and anywhere where you may, like me, have some boo-boos, it just means, oh, is that a boo-boo or is that actually meant to be there? So just do it quickly. I do apologize if you can hear my son coughing in the background. He is recovering from a virus. Okay, I don't need that scrap piece. So that actually concludes all of our stamping. So next we are going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut this out. Now I do just... I had that die. That die is on my, it's in my magnetic little dish, so I know where it is. I'll just pop this off to the side, and this will in the die cut machine, and the die comes from the Something Fancy set, and because it is our thin dies to set up our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we use plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, then we pop on our paper, and then we pop on our die and then add another plate 3 to the top. So let's leave it at that. I do just push this in a titch. I bring this in on an angle and I sandwich it straight down and hold it until that catches. Crank through and out the other side, just close up the sides of this. Then out the other side, we have our perfect label. Okay, and I am just going to pop this die back on the magnetic sheet, pop these plates away as I don't drop them on the floor. Okay, so next we are going to grab, and I probably should not have shut it, but alas I did. I'm going to grab that Lost Lagoon again and just open it up. So let's have a look here. So this has a slight Lost Lagoon edge, and how I have created that is I take the label and I just push it into the ink pad. Now to get the corners, I just push the corners in as well. So push. Oh, I missed that corner. I did, when I first tried this, I did try using my blending brush, and it just added too much ink and I didn't like the look of it. I will at the end show you the original card and you can see just how I have tweaked things to work for me. So just going to add some Stampin' dimensionals to the back of this, and then we are ready to attach this to a pretty peacock card base. So it just worked the best for the project. So I have my sideways folding card here, and I've already pre-scored. Just grabbing my bone folder, and it almost kind of matches my nails this time. Okay, so we just need a little bit of glue on here. So this is going flat, and then this piece pops up, and at the angle I'm looking at the card, which is obviously different to what you guys are seeing, I can see that pretty peacock peeking through. I used way too much glue there, but I'll straighten it out. It wasn't, my glue wasn't working so well earlier, so I think I just squeezed a little too much just to make sure the glue does come out. So now we are just going to pop this on the card. Oh, that's not too shabby. Straight up, I'm pretty happy with that. Give that a nice push. I did, just if I can get a little bit of wiggle room going back that way, that's fine. Okay, so just take these dimensionals off. So how I line this up, because this is just possibly a little stress point. Now, I do line it up. It helps if it is right way up. I do just, as if I was laying it in flat, I just nestle it into this corner, nice and straight, and then I pop the rest down, and I have perfect placement, but it is just lifted, so hopefully you can see that. But we also do have the Lost Lagoon edge to highlight that edge. Okay, so we are now going to pop on a few iridescent rhinestones. So these come in 3 sizes, and what I wanted to do with my project is just highlight each flower. So I don't particularly like this circle here, so I'm just going to pop one in there, and then just a little one going down here, and then just use some medium and small ones. I think I do want this probably about there, and then a little one just up here. So I have my triangle, and they do just glitter and pick up the colours that I've put them on and near. Now this one here does need to get put back on the sheet. It was very eager to get on our project, but we didn't quite need it. So that will definitely be used in next project. So let's go through what we have used. This is our mountain of ink pads. We use Melon Mambo and Berry Burst on our large flower. We used Lemon Lolly and Crush Curry on this, and Lemon Lolly on our trio of flowers. Azure Afternoon and Blueberry Bushel on our blue flower. We used Stamped Off Pretty Peacock for our large leaves, Stamped Off Lost Lagoon for our dottage, and to highlight our label. So you can use any label for this. You don't have to use the Something Fancy, but this is the Something Fancy die set. It does have some great nesting dies. So you've got these three shapes and they do nest together. This is a great tag. And then you've got a great angled word die as well. And of course, we used the textured floral stamp set. I just want to say thank you so much for purchasing my class and supporting my business. I hope you go on to watch the rest of the videos, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye.